another episode of Coastin', and Nick Saracino, forward for the Jacksonville Icemen, is joining us. Nick, it's great to have you on today. What's the weather like today in Jacksonville? Because it's probably a lot warmer than where Evan and I are.
Yes, Jacksonville's weather's been nice. Like I said earlier, first time playing down south. But yeah, it's 80 degrees today, and it was a beautiful day.
So you have not had to shovel off your car, and you're going to enjoy this winter, I think.
Yeah, no, definitely no snow. It's been very good.
You, with Jacksonville, first time playing down south. Team's gotten off to an okay start, some chance for improvement, obviously. You're one of the leaders on the team. You were a captain last year in the ECHL. How's it been for you in a new environment, serving the role and as a veteran leader with the Icemen?
Yeah, well, it was good that they picked me up, and we're off to an okay start, like you said, and we got definitely things to improve. But stepping in, we have a older group too, so being a leader in this group is not hard. I mean, we got a lot of voices in there, and it's been an easy transition so far.
Now, you originally going back to Wheeling, and then things kind of, as everyone knew, the season kind of ended abruptly, and who knew what the future of kind of anyone's career was going to be after that. What was your kind of thinking once the season was canceled in March? What were the first couple thoughts to go through your mind, both personally and playing?
Well, it's funny. A few of us have talked about it. Like when the season ended, we never thought it would have an impact on the new season, right? We just, maybe I was a little naive or whatever, but then going through the off season and it keeps getting extended, and the talks with the union, we're kind of going back and forth with the league, and but it's been good to see people work together to get hockey back. Yeah, it's been nice that we have been one of the first leagues back and playing, and so far been successful.
Rob Michael, who was a defenseman for the Royals this last year, he lives up in Syracuse, New York. So he was running laps around Onondaga Lake in Syracuse, New York. He said he had never run before in his life. Frank Teixeira, who you played against a bunch of times with the Royals, he was swimming laps in a pool in Long Island somewhere, I think. How the heck did you stay in shape and stay active when things were closed down?
Yeah, well, actually, I was lucky. I lived in Cleveland, actually, where my fiance's from most of the summer, and they were pretty open. I had a gym access that was open, and the ice rinks were available. So for me, wasn't too many obstacles. I think it only shut down for a couple weeks there early, and it was not too hard for me.
So besides, the typical getting into shape and gearing up for the next season during the off season, what'd you do to keep busy?
It was, I actually enrolled into a real estate class, and that kind of took up some time, and more thinking about what's going to happen after hockey, and more seeing that could be a reality sooner than later. So, going through that and talking to different people, and that's took up most of my free time. More the how difficult it is to purchase a home, and the many different steps you need to take, and what you're liable and not. And it's been very interesting.
Now let's talk about your home, where you grew up, St. Louis, Missouri. Check out that segue there. That's how, they teach in the classes.
How the pros do it.
That's how the pros do it. So growing up in St. Louis, not really known for the hockey hotbed as of late, but as of late now, there are some NHL players, some guys coming out of St. Louis, getting into the pro hockey world. What was your experience like in hockey when you were a kid growing up in St. Louis?
Yeah, obviously it's coming a long way. We did have a few pros like Joey Vitale and Ben Bishop, and that are a little older than me, and they paved the way. And I was fortunate enough to be coached by some great coaches. Al McInnes was actually my coach for majority of my time growing up in St. Louis, and just having those alumni around and who wanted to stay in the game and help with the youth programs really paved the way for us to get to the pro level. And now, as you can see, there's a lot more, and it's really good to see.
for someone listening in Jacksonville, I don't know whether they've had the chance to visit St. Louis. I've been there one time personally. Wonderful city, did the whole experience, saw the ballpark downtown, walked by where the Blues play, some Ted Drews, but for the frozen custard, I really couldn't get into the bagels, though. So the bagels are sliced. Explain to us what a St. Louis bagel is. You got to convince us what's going on there.
Yeah, well, you got the St. Louis Bread Co., which is now Panera, a huge chain, but it started in St. Louis, and they always had the bread sliced bagels, and that was a huge treat. A lot of kids would bring it in for their birthday treat at school and stuff like that. But yeah, they slice it like in a bread slicer.
What's going on with it? I can't. That's not a bagel to me. I don't get it.
No, not a bagel. Well, you get a full bite in one slice. You get the topping and you get the spread and all in one bite.
So is it a dipping sort of thing, or is it pre-spread?
You can dip it. You can dip it, spread it, whatever you like. It's
so consumer's choice in that regard.
Yeah, consumer choice. We'll go with that.
Because I remember, I forgot when I think it went on Twitter or something. I think someone posted a photo of the bagels, and the internet went nuts with it. And people like yourself, people from St. Louis, were like, "Yeah, this is how we live our lives."
Yeah, that was a normal thing. Never thought twice about it.
What were you doing when the St. Louis Blues finally won their first Stanley Cup? Where were you?
I think I was at home, actually, and that was really cool. Definitely I had friends on both sides too, and my college roommate was in Boston, so but it was really good to see the home team win it, and how long it's been, or it's never been done, and always grew up watching them when they're first and last place, so it was really cool to see.
If I know Evan well enough here, he's going to segue into what I think he's going to segue into, as you mentioned the city of Boston. So I'll let Evan pick it up from here in my mind reading techniques, hopefully.
Well, he mentioned his college roommate, and I was going to transition into college. I don't know if that was something that you were going to pick up on.
I don't know you well enough yet. Only episode 5.
That's fine. Only episode 5. Let's talk about your time playing in college. You reached the pinnacle as a college athlete in terms of winning a national championship. You did that in the 2014-15 season with Providence. Going in as a freshman, you were a junior then when you won, but going in as a freshman, did you kind of see, I mean, obviously you have that bias playing there. Did you say, hey, we're going to win a national championship in the next 3 years?
Going in there, we had a big class. There was a new coach. He was new the year before, and we had a big recruiting class, and we actually all got there in the summer. And I knew we had a good group, and later to see how special it was, but we had a good group. We were an older group, and we just enjoyed working hard together, and we were real close, and we were able to do something special.
Evan did pick up on it, actually, because you guys won it all at the TD Garden in downtown Boston, Massachusetts. So there we go. We reconnect with that. To win it so close to your home base in Providence, it's a 45-minute drive, and it's just like a typical Hockey East kind of trip to travel up to Boston for games. What did that mean for you doing it in your own little geographic hub there?
Yeah, it was really special. We actually played our regionals in Providence, and we had a great turnout with fans, and it was really fun, and got to the Frozen Four. And then just a short trip up, we were familiar with the building because the Hockey East playoffs are held there. So we actually didn't have very good success. I think we lost both games in the semifinals. So it was a good time to change our luck in that building.
I remember because I went to Bowling Green. I was the radio guy there during that time. And I remember the last day of the regular or the playoff season for right before they went to did all the tournament stuff. Bowling Green had to win 8 games had to go Bowling Green's way after Bowling Green lost in the semifinal of the conference championship. 7 of 8 of them did, except the one in their own conference, and the team that ended up getting in was Providence. I remember that very vividly in my mind. But I want to talk about the game for a second, because that was an unbelievable game. And I'm sure for you, being a part of that, it's got to be even more spectacular. When that puck rolled through the goaltender's legs, I mean, to tie the game up late in the third period, what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously a crazy turn of events. That whole game, I felt actually the whole tournament, it's a roller coaster of emotions. It's a one game thing. So, each play could decide it. And getting that bounce definitely helped. And then being able to take the lead, it was a huge momentum turn, that's for sure.
You mentioned, City of Boston, crazy game. The game ends. Did you guys stay in Boston or did you guys go back to Providence because of the proximity?
We actually stayed in Boston. Uh, we it was late. We all had family there, obviously, and they were they allowed us to stay in Boston, and then we actually had a police escort all the way from Boston to Providence. The Mass State Police took us to the border, and the Rhode Island picked us up. So it was a pretty cool experience for sure.
How
And
many
then
people waiting for you at back on campus when you got there?
Not too many actually, but later did we find out that I think they went pretty hard that night. There was a crazy scene in Providence, actually, fire trucks all over. But it was really cool. I think we'd be more upset if they didn't do that. And it was really cool to see the whole school backing us, and it was a fun time.
now you've spent some time in the ECHL and you played for a few different teams. What has been some of your favorite ECHL cities to visit on the road?
Well, definitely during the winter, it's nice to come down south. Definitely get some sunshine. So, these southern teams, Orlando and Jacksonville and Florida, are some good spots to visit. And I would say, in Worcester, we had some good visits. The travel's not too bad because the teams were close. And so it was nice being able to sleep in your bed most of the time.
When you were in Worcester, the first year of the Railers' existence, I remember, doing a few of those games really, really close. Worcester had the late season run and everything to make it in the playoffs, but Worcester's system really defensive. And then the next year, you're in Wheeling and in Binghamton eventually with the call. Your offensive game got to show itself a little bit more. How important was it for you being able to make the transition from Worcester to Wheeling in that you were able to show a little bit more of what you did offensively at the college level, but now at the pro level?
Yeah, well, I think it was just being a year in the league, and understanding the league and just becoming a better pro. I mean, the coach in Worcester was great and didn't hold me back or anything. Coach Davis did well for me in Wheeling, and I was playing with good players at both places. I just think I was more experience helped me and helped my offensive game grow in this league.
You've seen some time up in the AHL, as David mentioned, some time with Binghamton and playing a couple stints in Iowa. What did you really enjoy about, besides the fact of being called up, but just the experience of being up with the AHL team, getting to learn from some of those guys who have that experience?
Yeah, it's really great experience up there. You do have older guys with a lot of pro experience, and just seeing how they go about their business day to day, and it's really valuable experience that I'm grateful to have, and hopefully I can pass on to younger guys here or wherever I go.
As you guys look to rise up the South Division standings a little bit here, what are some of your personal goals that you laid out at the start of the season that you're still trying to act upon and play out here as the season continues in the ECHL?
Well, personally, I would like to get back in the playoffs. I think that would be very good because I missed it the past two seasons, and getting back to the playoffs, that's what, as a pro hockey, what you play for, and that would be really my main focus this year.
It's interesting to hear you say that too, just because from the perspective of, the North Division teams aren't awarded that opportunity this year to have that type of shot. For so many guys that we've chatted with here, it's, they feel lucky to play. But you mentioned the playoff aspect in that, being a hockey player, you want to be in the playoffs. And it's not even really a question. I just find it inspiring and, sort of altruistic that you're still always gunning for, that taste of playoff hockey because of what and how special it is.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it doesn't matter what level you're playing or what you're doing. It's always fun to win, and that's what you do it for.
And Jacksonville is one of the few teams in the ECHL that actually gets an opportunity to really have a good support system in the building, with it being such a big building. How have the fans been to you guys this year?
Fans have been great. We were talking with some other players. It's kind of, we don't get to network them with them this year. And that's kind of what we're missing too. And I'm sure they're missing them. But the building's been great, been loud, and the league's done great. Put good guidelines in place to keep the fans safe and the players safe. And so far, it's been so good.
My last one, afterwards, I'll see if Evan has any more, but the head coach there, Jason Christie, the Smurf, he's a legend going back from his times in Columbus, in the Coast, which in the 90s eventually became the Royals in the 2000s, and he's one of the winningest coaches in minor league hockey history. Getting a chance to learn from him, what's that meant to you?
Very good. He's been very good. He picked me up on waivers earlier, and he hasn't been anything but good to me. And I can see he has a lot of experience, and looking forward to learning as much as I can from him.
My final one, and the fans here in Glens Falls would be upset if I didn't ask you this, because they love, pumping their own tires a bit. You had obviously that stint in Worcester, and especially that first season, a lot of great battles between the Thunder and the Railers. What are some of your favorite memories of playing at Cool Insuring Arena here in Glens Falls?
Well, that playoff series was pretty intense. I went 6 games. One of my favorite experiences were the Linquist clown shirts, our radio guy. That was very comical. We all got a kick out of that. But I also had a pretty good game there in the playoffs. And, that was probably one of my favorite memories there.
Yeah, I mean, I knew at some point Eric Lindquist would come up in this conversation, and I'm glad he did. I think he loved Glens Falls almost as much as David Finer. You love Glens Falls.
Oh, Glens Falls is my favorite city to visit in the North Division. It's tough to beat like Orlando or a place like that in the South, but if you're going to be in the cold weather, I'd rather go to Raoul's before the game, get a little taco, and see what's going on there. So yeah, definitely. It's been a blast. Did
Lindy clear Sino with you before he did it, or did he just off the riff?
I wanted to add that.
Yeah, that had to be off the cuff. I've never heard that before. So,
did you just hear it on a highlight or something like that, or did he say, "Hey Nick, look what I did"?
I think someone on the team told me. Someone said it when I came in. I was like, "What is that?" And they're like, "Oh, you got to listen to him." And no, that's all Eric.
That's all Eric for sure.
It's been a blast, Nick. Thank you for taking a few minutes here this evening, and we appreciate you hopping on Coastin'.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Best of luck the rest of the season, man.
Thank you.